Hi everyone, I'm Vivian Marino, and I'm eager to get to work in advanced user-centered design. I haven't had formal art or design training, but I consider myself pretty creative, and over the years I've worked closely with graphic artists and art directors as an editor and a reporter. The news industry, as you know, has been rapidly changing, and so I enrolled in the ICM program to stay vital and marketable with the backing of my employer. Eventually, though, I'd like to teach or go out on my own as a media consultant, which is why this class is so important to me. My approach to user-centered design is actually not much different than the principles I follow in journalism, and that is to know your audience. You will want to inform, educate, and to some degree entertain. It's also pretty important to try to keep things as simple as possible. I like the fact that user-centered design also focuses on the needs of the end users. These are the folks, after all, that are actually using a product or service. This includes all things digital, of course, but it can apply to just about anything. As you can see, some ideas are best left on the drawing board. And while we're looking at shoes, it's crucial for designers and design managers, in my opinion, to put themselves in the user's shoes. What do users want and need, and how do we go about delivering it to them in an easy, accessible way? And that's where personas come into play. Personas are fictional characters that represent different user types in targeted demographics, like these three. I had a lot of fun creating them in the first user-centered design, which I took last fall. Kind of reminded me of the character development exercises for my fiction writing class. The Pomona College website has done a great job of addressing its users, and its site both looks nice and functions well. I especially like the shortcut navigation at the top. This provides a gateway for each key user type to get information tailored just for them. Pomona's cool navigation, like other good ideas, came through careful planning. Adherence to widely accepted design standards is also important because it creates a level of comfort for users. Knowing where to go and what to look for not only saves them time but potential aggravation. Readers of the news, for example, know that they can glance at a headline and the first paragraph of a story, known as the lead, to find out initially what's happening. All content is carefully organized so they know where to find it every time they open the site, as you can see here in the New York Times website. Now, users have come to expect certain functions on websites or apps. Though there are exceptions, any significant deviation could leave them feeling confused or even angry. Probably the worst thing that can happen is that they lose patience, navigate away, and never come back. Most visitors to websites expect to see certain things, such as an organization's logo in the upper left-hand corner, like it is here at the Pomona site. Click on the logo and you're always taken back to the home page. The main navigation is typically at the top and content neatly segmented below. This site for Bermuda tourism bends the rules a bit. You can click on the guy in the pink shorts all day long and nothing will happen. The navigation is also confusing. The main links seem to be on the left-hand side, but there's also some at the top and in the body of the home page. Anyway, it's an unattractive mess. I redesigned it last summer in interactive techniques using an HTML template as a starting point. I uploaded my own photographs and carefully selected the color scheme to best reflect Bermuda's natural beauty. Then I added in my own code. I think it looks a lot nicer, don't you think? Of course, it was nice having a template to guide me along, but we all know that's not often the case. Years ago, I remember feeling so overwhelmed while working on my first big feature story. I had a lot of material and I wasn't sure what to do with it all. A wise editor suggested that I create an outline. Information architecture is a lot like that. It lays down the organizational groundwork for how a site functions and where content is to be placed. The goal is to make it easy and almost intuitive for the users, while also getting the appropriate information across. There are many tools available to accomplish this. I found the concept map especially helpful. This is a diagram showing the relationships among concepts and ideas, and it's meant to inspire. Here's one I created for Pomona. The dark gray circles represent the people associated with the school, and the light gray represents on-campus sites and activities. A site map, meanwhile, helps to organize and keep track of the pages of a website. It's especially useful when there's a large amount of content, like there is here for the Bank of America site map. This is just the first half of the home page. A high-fidelity wireframe contains even more detail. In fact, the level of detail more closely resembles an actual website, as you can see here. This one is also for the Bank of America. The numbered blue bubbles are part of a separate annotation describing the page content and linkable material. I like to work with a simple wireframe. It provides a general idea of how a site will look and where the content will be placed. I created this simple wireframe of a professional website that I'd like to create for myself someday, and I used it again in one of my more recent Flash projects. Now I'm very excited about the idea of applying these tools and my skills and new ones I expect to learn to help a nonprofit group. I have some ideas in mind, but I'm open to any suggestion. Teamwork is crucial here. Let's work together to help make a difference and get a good grade, of course.